Hey everyone, welcome to the most amazing live stream there ever was. I don't care what anybody else says. This one is the best live stream. You know why? Because I got Mr. Terry here. I am Mr. Garrett, and welcome. Thanks for tuning in. We have a new setup here. We got two big screens. We've
Extra wide.
optimized. Maybe let me move the mic just a little bit so I can see better.
Yeah.
We've optimized our setup here. So now we can see all your questions. We can see all the screens. Everything is running great. We got the dual screen setup. So let's see who's tuning in here. We got some familiar faces. We got Shankstyle, Sullivan, Speedy, Super Dave, Canadian Penny, Quattro, KMX, Wrights W5, Nick Sweeney. A lot of familiar faces. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Great to see you guys. Before we start, we have to make a small apology.
Yeah. Many apologies.
Because last week we were planning on having an Instagram live, but unfortunately, because we were in Japan and because of meetings and the time change, and the first time we were riding on the Shinkansen, obviously it doesn't work when you're going in and out of tunnels, and you can't phone call on the train in Japan.
It's
very rude.
Very rude.
So unfortunately, we couldn't do the live stream. So if you were waiting for it, our apologies. But I'll try to make it up to you somehow.
Some kind of bonus content somewhere, somehow.
Yes. We will have some bonus content for the Japan trip, but more on that later. Wow. Someone already commented, Terry, nice shirt.
I know. I got several comments. I posted this on my Instagram, actually, there. But yes, while I was in Japan, I went on a little trip with Garrett over here to Wonderlooper HQ with Bezad and Risa. We kind of hung out on the Wonderlooper live stream, which is like the day after us on Friday. We said hello to our best buds, Bezad, Risa, and then they just happened to have Snowy, man.
And
Caterpie, just hanging out with the cats, just having honestly a grand old time down in Yokohama. And wouldn't you know it, they just happened to have a t-shirt there in my size, and Risa did me a solid and put my little name over here.
Chain stitched on the spot.
She just blasted it right out. I was done, the really, really cool machine, and we just had it was really cool, it was really special, it was fun. And I'm wearing, this is the double heavyweight tee, by the way. It's chunky.
Yes.
This is a lot
substantial.
of shit. Wait,
did you not have one before?
I did not. I only had
I have mine right here.
I had the ELS. You got a chunky one there too. This is a chunky shirt. Yeah.
Well, we stock these at Tate and Yoko as well.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to get one and you want fast shipping, we'll ship it pretty much the next day as long as it's a weekday.
Yeah.
So you can pick up a double heavyweight shirt, or we got some other stuff too on the website. But check it out.
More Wonderlooper coming for us.
Oh yeah, and there's going to be not that this is the Tate and Yoko show, but there will be Wonderlooper drop next Wednesday as well. Okay. So speaking of drops, Terry, we do have. Let me get the production model.
Oh yeah.
We do have a drop.
Time for the real.
You guys are kind of the first ones who are going to know about it. Unless you follow the Instagram, I teased it. And so coming next Thursday, finally, 3 years later, you guys have seen it before.
After much effort.
But the Higo no Cami knife.
They have arrived.
So I took some photos today of this, because I know it, on the webcam here, it's maybe not the easiest to see. We're going to work on that, getting a new camera. But we got a little slideshow, Terry. Let's
click on that the knives. Oh no, wrong one.
This is the old one.
No, that down one.
Knives.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so we have here the photos I took from today of the new Denim Knife. So if you don't know about this knife, if you're just tuning in for the first time, it is a Higo no Kami knife, which is like a traditional pocket knife made in Japan. The family that's been doing it has been doing it for over 5 generations, I think since 1894 or something like that. So well over 100 years. Basically, the short story is, as you know, there used to be a lot of samurai in Japan.
Yeah.
And anyways, I guess the government was kind of getting sick of them fooling around and, their tomfoolery. And so they cracked down. I said, no more samurais, no more swords.
Yeah, no more that samurai hijinks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was like kind of a problem. Anyways, yeah, people were, it was not a good time for some people. And so they decided we're going to put a stop to that. And so they basically overnight outlawed like samurais and samurai sword. And so there was a whole industry, of course, that had popped up to make all of these swords. And so all of a sudden, all these people had no jobs. And so what they did was they kind of changed their skills over into making knives for, you know, cooking or pocket knives or whatever that you need to have knives for. And so that's kind of the roots of this knife. It actually has its roots in the samurai sword making culture. So
Let's take a look. Yeah, we're gonna show up these
show off the photos. This is not your average Higo no Cami knife, which is just like a stamped piece of brass and folded. So if you'll notice here that it actually has
this is the photo.
It's made of real selvage denim, 100% cotton, and then we take that, we sew it together so we can get that selvage line right in the middle, line them up as best as we can. They put like an epoxy basically in between, and then vacuum seal it and compress it as hard as they possibly can, and then they let it cure. And then once that comes out, you get like basically a big long brick, and those get chopped up and milled into the handles. It is it feels kind of like wood almost, like it's got the same weight of wood, and I'd say like actually it's more rigid than wood actually. Extremely rigid, but a nice texture to it. So if you feel it, it's like quite grippy. And this type of material, actually, the more you use it, the more grippy it becomes. So it doesn't, you know, it's not like wood or other plastic where it kind of becomes shiny and glossy and more slippery. It actually becomes more grippy over time.
It's probably great if you have like oily hands or you're working.
Yeah.
Not that it's like a heavy industry knife, but I mean.
And I was taking these photos today, and I had this photo was it's actually my favorite, because if you look very closely, you can actually see all of the indigo rope dyed yarns. You can see the outside where it is more blue, and on the inside, the core of the yarn where it's white. And also, if you look, you can see these white kind of squiggly lines running down. That's the weft yarns, and then those blue dots are the warp yarns. And you can actually count. If you zoom in here, I can't really zoom in on this, but if you look very closely, you can count 3 warps, so 1, 2, 3 warps, and then on the bottom there's another warp, and then 1, 2, 3. So when we say it's a 3x1 jean, that's basically what jeans are, is either 2x1 or 3x1, more commonly 3x1. Yeah, that's what you're seeing. You're seeing that 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, and then that weft yarn kind of like wiggling between the two. So it's kind of really cool that this knife shows that. You know, like it has the cross section. So yeah, anyways, these are going to be dropping next Thursday, just through tatenyoko.com. We have a limited amount of them, of course, as usual. So what was the price? Let me look up the price on this one.
Yeah, we'll check the price.
It's sub $200.
This is another one of like Brandon's passion projects.
Yeah, 3 years in the making.
Yeah, many years in the making. A lot of effort, a lot of back and forth, but it's finally happening.
Okay.
There.
Oh, the price is. Oh, hold on. It's in my email.
Yeah. We will get you a number.
Okay. The USD price is $178, and the Canadian price is $249.
All right, so that's $178 US, $249 Canadian.
Available Thursday, 11 a.m. Tate Nyoko.
Kind of like a deluxe price for a deluxe knife there, but this is really, really special. You cannot just go out and make more of these.
Yeah. And I will say also, let's go through the rest of the slideshow here.
Yeah, let's kind of go. Let's do a little holiday snap.
You'll see that it kind of wiggles. There's going to be variation between them because we tried our best to get it as straight as possible, but it's just it is impossible to get it perfectly straight. So there's going to be a little bit of variation, a little bit of wiggle. Each one is going to, of course, be unique.
Yeah, let's try and get close in that wiggle there.
And you can kind of see that variation, but that's kind of the wabi-sabi-ness of this knife.
Yeah. I was there. I was there in the factory when our production manager, was like delicately, and I mean delicately, like doing his best to line these up. And he has very, very steady hands, and he's working real hard. But that's just, it's got that human touch, his human touch, right there, right there in the blade.
It has a VG10 blade too. I forgot to mention.
Yeah,
that's
you can kind of just see there. It says VG10.
Important, but VG10 is a very good blade steel. Very hard, stays sharp.
It'll take an edge.
I wouldn't recommend soaking these in salt water. So just keep it clean and don't put it away wet.
Yeah, this is not stainless steel.
Yeah, it's not stainless steel.
It's not stainless steel. It will rust, so you gotta, just keep that in mind. Treat it like a nice, like high carbon. Yeah, there you go. It's
sharp. Nice. Reverse tanto blade. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys have any questions in the chat here that I missed? Oh yeah, someone asked about the blade steel. Okay, good. Sullivan said he had 4 Tateinoko deliveries this week.
Wow.
Yeah, the East. Oh, okay, yeah. So speaking of which, we'll talk about that in. Should we talk about it now?
All right.
We'll talk about it now, just since he brought it up.
Moving over.
So we do have the Easter sale still going right now. It's going to be ending tomorrow, sometime tomorrow. So you definitely want to get in your order if you wanted to. Let's just head over to the website here.
There we go. Ta-da.
So we have the sale. To be honest, some of the sale items are very picked through, but if you are looking for, of course, there's lots of shirts and good stuff in here, but if you are looking for, if you're looking for a pair of jeans, we still have the tenfold, the prototype, and the real gold, and we have a lot of sizes in most of those. So if you're looking for something, I definitely check that out. It's going to be ending tomorrow.
Yeah, prototype's really special. That's a Brandon's choice.
I like the tenfold because it's very kind of like normal. If you're looking for just like a normal jean with something a little bit extra, it's kind of cool. Salvage. It's got a fun little selvage.
A particularly fun selvage. And a little bit of history.
Yes, it was funny because it, like, when this ran out, I remember years afterwards, people would be emailing us being like, hey, do you have any more 10-year anniversary stuff? Like, for years and years and years. I don't know why, but people really, really wanted it. And now we have it. So this is your last chance. After that, it's gone forever. Yeah. There'll be no more.
They're definitely, for this one, definitely not.
Yes. So sale ends tomorrow.
Okay.
Last chance. Check it out. Okay, Terry.
Cool.
So let's answer a few questions, and then I want to ask you some questions.
I'm going to jump into the chat from the top there. Okay. Yes, just seeing a load of our usual friends over there. It really is nice to see all you guys, all the usuals. And it's also kind of nice to see a couple of the familiar faces, even on the Wonderlooper stream. I always had a feeling there was crossover, but jumping in there and seeing those faces was also pretty...
W writes, asks, a fade battle of all the 40-ounce prototypes? Well, no.
I don't know if that's possible because there's only one.
There's 2 prototypes, like 2 original prototype sample, whatever you want to call it. One of them fits, maybe, Terry. I don't know if it'll be long enough. It doesn't really fit anyone because it's very large, but then like the length is not very long.
Yeah.
And I've already faded it a bit. And then the second sample that we made, we actually gifted to the mill.
Yes.
That wove the fabric. So we brought it to Japan.
Yeah.
And we gifted that. You're gonna be able to see some probably video clips. It was
special, almost heartwarming.
It was very heartwarming.
Yeah. The whole factory came out, and it was a big event.
Yeah. The CEO, the owner of the factory, he's like the nicest guy, super fun to hang around, and he was very excited to see the 40 ounce. So we gave him a pair of the 40 ounce just kind of like as a thank you, because it was, not only a big time commitment, but a financial commitment from them as well to invest in the R&D to make the 40 ounce. So we thought it would be great to kind of return one pair back to the homeland.
Yeah.
And it was just a lot of fun. But more on that in a bit.
Okay. Going down there, I did not steal the waffle from Bayzad and Risa. It was a little small, but maybe we'll get it for fall. I think it's part of their fall collection, so maybe...
I ordered it.
So you ordered it? You ordered it? All right. So
we did get to check out the bone buttons in person, which was nice.
Oh, yeah. We had a little, The Bays had picked our brains on buttons.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta get a bigger button there.
I think we're all in agreement with the buttons, though.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it happens. Even here at Naked Famous, there, like as part of product development, we'll be looking like a new shirt or whatever, and there's gonna be a big old pile of buttons. And be like, what do you feel about? How do you feel about these buttons? The contours, the size, the profile, the material. A lot of people like the horn, though. That horn material.
Well, they're all horn.
Well, they're all horn.
They're just different types of horn, or like different colors. But that's the thing is, like, you don't even think about buttons a lot of the times. Like, it's just something that's there. You don't even really. But a lot of thought gets put into choosing the buttons, the button shape, how many buttonholes it has, how shiny it is, what material, the bevel on the button. You know, it's concave, convex buttons. It's a lot of buttons.
Everything you wanted to know about buttons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Justino asked, will there be more tag size 27 in the future? No, except for the strong guys, probably. I think the strong guy is the only thing that I'm making 27 in right now. For all the other fits, whenever we have 27s, they just sit there forever.
Yeah.
And ever.
Yeah, so as part of, like, I think a regular releases, I don't think we'll see them as part of our regular release for the weird guy, like the true guys and stuff like that. Maybe.
If you do need smaller sizes, though, I would say, like, if you really, really do need a smaller size, check out the women's. Like the Classic or the Arrow.
Especially the Classic.
Because there's nothing actually, like, women's about them. There's nothing that says, like, oh, this is a women's jean. It's just, they're just smaller sizes, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, like the Classic, even I love the Classic.
Yeah, like our Max who works for us, he famously has a pair of the Classic Indigo Duck, and he's like wash them a bunch. They look fantastic on him. And Max is just like the most regular human being size. Yeah, he's not too big, he's not too tall, he's skinny, and it looks great on him. Like a nice, like a loose baggy fit, actually, because the Classic's a straight leg.
I've been tempted to fade a pair. I've been like contemplating, like, maybe my next pair I should do a pair of Classics.
Yeah.
Instead of the strong guys, something like that. Anyways, okay, we got more questions.
Yeah, here come the questions.
About
here we go.
the mills, but let's save that for later. Because we're gonna get into that in just a bit. But before we do, don't forget, hit the like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It's free. I appreciate it. We put a lot of time and effort into doing the videos and editing and shooting and all that. And so if you're here and you're enjoying it, you should definitely hit the subscribe button. It's completely free. And we got lots of fun content coming your way very soon. So Terry, someone in the questions, Shankstyle said, what was your favorite part of the Japanese mills? What does it look like to work there?
Okay.
So if you are unaware, if you're just tuning in for the first time, Terry and I were gone last week. We made a trip all the way over to Japan with Brandon, and also Steve came. And part of that trip was going to the mills, of course, showing Terry and Steve how everything works, from the rope dyeing to the weaving to the yarn spinning, having meetings with all the mills, having tons and tons of meetings, actually.
A lot of meetings. This was a proper work trip.
It's a meeting trip.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of go through this with you and ask your feelings and your experiences on these, because I'm sure everyone at home is curious to find out.
Yeah, so coming there as my, not my first time to Japan, but my first time to...
give us a little, what's your Japan lore?
So in terms of like my background about Japan, I did actually used to live in Japan for over a year. I lived down south in a city called Fukuoka. I learned the language to a degree, you know, and enough to get by. But that was 10 years ago, and I haven't spent a lot of time. My time in Tokyo is limited to like a week or two tops. So I'm not a super expert on Tokyo, which is where we spent a lot of our time, nor like any like Okayama or like all those classic like denim producing regions of Japan. But enough to say that I'm familiar with the country and the kind of the culture there. So it kind of gave me a little bit, like, I always felt like a little bit easier to kind of get along with some like the local staff and the owners and the workers at the mills. So this being my very first trip with Naked Famous overseas to Japan, I was really excited to actually see like the factories where the cotton is spun and where that spun cotton is then woven into denim fabric. And I was actually blown away by the size and scale of these. First thing you notice, like these mills, like it is multiple buildings spread out over like cities and stuff like that. This is not just like, one floor in a factory. This is like several gigantic factories. And like the machinery for some of these things is like many stories tall, especially like the rope dyeing machines, like 3 stories tall. Is humongous, and it kind of makes sense if you're doing things like at this scale. And this is still like the traditional, like the slower way of doing things. So like, if there's like one of those like mega industrial ones, like and like.
Well, you didn't even go to the big factory.
Yeah, I didn't even see the big factory. It felt pretty big, so like I was like, oh man, like this.
We went to the smaller one.
This is the proper big factory, so it was fascinating. Some of the things I took away there is the amount, I guess, the age of the machines and the amount of attention that all the machines were constantly receiving. So you'd be like walking through like these rows of sometimes like really old machines, or real antiques, like they have stamps from like the 50s on them. I remember some from 1953 and stuff. And there's always like in every room there's like 1 or 2 guys with a couple of small tools there, and they're just like making like adjustments on the fly, like in the busy factory while it's working, tightening things up, loosening things down, just making sure everything's running really, really smoothly. So that was really, really cool.
So I wanted to ask, what was your impression of like the rope dyeing, like from taking the yarns and turning it into a rope, to putting it through the dyes and then beaming, all that? What did you think?
Oh, it's fascinating there. But you can really see what you notice right away. The first dip into the dye, you get the green. Like the green comes out strong. It's like, yes, indigo in its non-oxidized state is green. Very green. And it goes through, and there's just many dips. And also, there's a lot of dips. Sometimes you get like 10 dips there. So it goes up and down, and up and down, and up and down, getting progressively, like more and more dyed. And it's so tall. Like they have a long time to dry up, like 3 stories up, 3 stories down. Dries off, another dip for like just a couple of seconds.
You know what we should have asked them is how long does it take for it to go from the dye up and then down and then back to the dye?
I did try to ask him how long it spent in the dye, and I think I only got this to like 1 second, basically 1 or 2 seconds tops.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. And then we also asked, does the machine change speed? And the guy said no, just 1 speed.
He has a constant speed there.
Yeah.
So that was like, it really was quite impressive, And then just people busy working at like a strong. It smelled just like the homemade indigo kit that we had made.
Smells exactly
like
the same.
week before, which is really, really, really cool. So like that was like the actual denim mill was really, really fun to see that. And then every step was like it's almost like its own separate building. Just like you had like the rope dyeing section, and then you have to kind of like straighten it out and put it on the beams, and then you got to kind of like pull it out again and put it back in again and kind of like line everything up there, and then you can kind of like you get to the area where you start seeing people like line up the yarns for the selvage there. So okay, you got blue, white, red, white, kind of add him on the edge there, like, oh, it's starting to look a little bit like denim.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you get to the weaving area, and then like the most impressive, the loudest, absolutely like insanely loud, like when you get the actual weaving room with the shuttle looms, like the whole big thing, like the actual classic shuttle looms, it is impossibly loud, like like the earth shakes beneath you with like the sounds of like.
I think even 1 hour in there with no ear protection, you would have
permanent hearing damage. Permanent hearing damage. Yeah, like the earth shakes beneath you. These looms are like smashing back and forth. They're making like a tremendous racket. You got like cotton fluff floating in the air. You got like these automatic like vacuums kind of going back and forth to try and like desperately suck up like whatever like dust gets in the air, and there's dust everywhere from all this cotton fiber, and it just like you're getting shaken to pieces. And like these machines are very, very, very mechanical. There's things like the gears are turning, levers are bouncing back and forth, and like there's so much movement and activity and clatter and chatter, and it's like it's just overwhelming.
It's funny because like sometimes people are like, oh, those old looms in America, because they had the wooden floors at the factory, the floors would vibrate and that would cause the loom to make a certain fabric. And it's like, do you have concrete floors here? And the concrete floor is vibrating. Yeah. You don't need wooden floors to vibrate.
Yeah, it was shaking. Like it was.
The whole building is shaking. Yeah.
Yeah, you need strong foundations there, and it was something else.
Maybe if they had like just a solid slab. I think we're on ground level. No.
We were like solid concrete into bedrock, like in the mountains and stuff there. I am
And
sure
it was still shaking. The floor vibrates,
it was
even though it's a slab of concrete.
it was like it's absolutely like visceral, extremely visceral, yeah, extremely visceral, and you're literally shaken to your core.
Yeah, you get almost all senses. You don't get taste, but there's the smell, there's the sound, there's the feeling, the vibration.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really like this 3D sensory experience.
Oh, and the final thing I have to add is like all this is happening, right? So this is just making like rolls and denim is coming out like the selvage. They're like, okay, yeah, there you can see this looks like actual selvage denim, but it's slow. It's really, really slow. It is crawling out there like infinitesimally. So even though the looms are flying back and forth, and you can barely see the shuttle like move with your eyes. Like you have to use a slow motion camera. Like it moves faster than the eye can see. It just creeps out slowly.
It's
Yeah, it's like it's that loom effect there. So like even of all this, the rate of production.
It's one yarn at a time. Like
Yeah,
one weft yarn at a time.
Yeah, one thread at a time. It is really, 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 really slow.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and they must have had like what 50, 100 machines in there, 100 looms or something, and just that one room.
Mm-hmm.
Blows my mind.
Oh, actually, since
I just had to go there. That was like I felt so. It left such an impact, and it was.
There was one person who left a question, and I tried my best to ask it to some of the people that worked at the mill.
It's true. We were there. We were at the mill.
I tried to ask the questions, and they didn't understand the question, and I tried to rephrase it again as best as I could. That didn't work. Brandon then again rephrased it, and they kind of gave us an answer, but here's the question. Why aren't there more vintage looms selvage is made on? More specifically, why can't they make new looms that do the old way but be brand new? So I guess to first start this question is like when they're talking about vintage looms, how vintage? Because I would argue that all the looms that they have there, all the Toyotas are vintage. They're definitely not new. But are you talking about old Draper looms? Like, there are more vintage ones, but I would still consider the Toyotas to be vintage.
Oh, this is pretty vintage.
And then the second part of the question is, why can't they make new looms the way the old looms, or can they make new looms that are as good or, equal? And they said no. They've tried using the Chinese looms. Yeah,
I remember that.
And they said they didn't work or they broke down or something. So that was the answer to that question. Then I guess finally, can they make, denim the same way on new looms that they did on old looms? So I'd say if we're comparing like Toyota looms to like older American looms, I think yes, the answer is yes. They definitely can make the same denim the way they used to, because there's tons of like a repro fabrics and stuff that they're able to recreate. So yes, I guess this is a complicated question, and it was very complicated to ask them, and they didn't quite understand.
Yeah, we have to do our best to translate and stuff. Our poor translator just like kind of looked at us like, oh god.
But yeah, so there's your answer. Yeah, that's the answer. Terry.
Yes.
Since we had a whole lot of meetings, what was your main takeaway from all the meetings?
My main takeaway from all the meetings, I guess this is my first time doing meetings in Japan. So one of the takeaways that I get a lot is like how, important it is to actually have these meetings. Mm-hmm. So you might think of at this day and age, it's like you work from home and Zoom everything like that, or FaceTime at Teams, what have you. You just like whatever, just send them an email, and then if you got to, just like do like a little virtual meeting and you're done. But I think the relationship that the company, Naked Famous, has built of all these looms over the course of like 17 years now, has really kind of come to play, and you can kind of see hey, these guys have been buying from us. It's been 17 years. There is a degree of respect on both sides there, that we are serious about this. They were serious about this, and they just more than anything, people appreciate each other's company, the act of us just kind of going there, saying hi, coming all the way over from Canada. And yes, we chose fabrics We saw some cool new fabrics. We had like, hey, can you make this special thing for us there? Like, what's new and that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it was kind of like touching base almost. It's kind of like,
Yeah, not only touching fabrics, which is very important, but also just kind of the face-to-face.
Yeah, the face-to-face. I think it's probably still a big deal, in at least in Japanese business culture there. And we went out for a meal with everyone except the spinning mill.
Yeah, but we spent a lot of time there.
Much meals, yeah. There was much drinking and merrymaking.
A lot of beer.
A lot of beer.
After this, I got home and I'm like going back to the climbing gym. I feel legitimately sluggish. I'm like, next time, not so much beer.
Yeah, well, I mean, like there other people are drinking other things, but there's much merrymaking. I noticed by the last couple of days in the trip, you kind of like you cut yourself off.
I was like, I've had enough. I've had enough like light beer. Like I don't mind it every once in a while, but it's like every day, every meal, like drinking a pint of like light beer.
I can drink lager all day.
I can drink it, but it's like, is it worth it?
Yeah, is it worth it?
Not really. To me, at least. Yeah. Not worth it to me. Okay, and then so switching gears, I guess, from kind of the more business side of things, I want to ask you, what's your opinion? Because we did end up going to Fukuyama, which is where most of the fabric is woven. It's not too far away from Kojima, which is where a lot of the made in Japan jeans are sewn.
Yeah, this is Okayama Prefecture.
Yeah. Then we went up to Osaka just for one day to go visit Taishobo Seki. And
cool.
I wanted to ask your opinion. Tokyo versus Osaka. What was your initial feelings?
Yeah, so of course, like there's like a lot of stereotypes in Japanese culture of like Tokyo versus Osaka, and Osaka being like the fun city and Tokyo being like the serious city, and like when I was like younger, I had like a lot of Japanese classmates in Taiwan, and like my Tokyo classmates, they would make fun of the Osaka people relentlessly. They're like, oh, Osaka people, they're not really Japanese. They're close. It's like I'm not even in Japan or something like that, which is like. When you're there, it's like, wow, it's really, really, really similar. But it was, yeah, maybe just a little bit more, you could sense it just a little bit more like easygoing, but slightly more like party focused. Like these guys are just a bit more chill, despite being a humongous city and kind of like squished into like two other cities. Like it's got Kobe and Kyoto, which are kind of like right next door. And everything's so big, it kind of blends into each other. It got so big. It was just a bit more chill. And honestly, the Taishobo Seki, like the actual, like the cotton spinning mill, maybe one of my favorite factories.
Okay, so for the people at home who don't know what that is, what are they known for there?
Yeah, so this is the home of the fox fiber.
Yes, home of the fox fiber. It sounds like a baseball team.
Yeah, the home of fox fiber. So there's fox fiber. You guys talk about that lovely cotton that comes brown from the ground. There's only one company which buys it from the farm in the States, and that company is Taishobo Seki. They are in Japan. They take those bales of fox fiber and they will spin it into yarn. That's all they do. They spin big old bales of cotton into yarn. Sometimes wool, sometimes other stuff.
I'd say they're like a boutique spinner.
Yeah, exactly. They're like a boutique spinner. When you're there, like nothing seems boutique about it because it's a gigantic factory.
But they basically spin, I'd say like high-end fibers.
Yeah, and
so
there was
like yak. Were they doing cashmere, or what was the other one?
They had all the Pimas. They had all the Pimas.
Suvan Gold.
Yeah.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Supima, ELS.
Yeah.
Supima, Fox Fiber. So basically any of the high-end or most of the high-end cottons and other fibers, they're spinning it.
Yeah. So like, if anyone wants to make denim or t-shirts or whatever from Fox Fiber, they have to buy.
Yeah, if you want Fox Fiber, it comes from
Yeah. You can't buy it straight from the farm. You gotta buy it from these guys, and then these guys will sell it to other mills, and those mills can make denim for us, or t-shirts for Bezad and Risa, or what have you. So that was probably my favorite thing there, really seeing, because I felt like a lot more. You go in like the warehouse, they have all these giant bales of cotton and stuff like that, and it smells pleasantly agricultural. pleasantly agricultural, and it's really cool because you actually get to see like this is clearly like raw agriculture product, and at the end you're going to get like these little not spindles, bundles.
Like a bobbin.
Yeah, bobbins. You get like these bobbins of thread.
Which we were able to take one.
We got one.
I don't have it here. Brandon has it, but next time I'll try to show you our bobbin of
that's
fox
probably
fiber.
That's probably my favorite one. The guy was really, they're such nice people, and they humored us, and we did a little video, which you're all going to see in the future, because I was quite excited, but that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, one of the big takeaways that I didn't really think about before with the fox fiber, and he was just kind of explaining to us about it, and people would say, oh, how come fox fiber is so expensive? All it is brown cotton. Well, it's not just brown cotton, and there's a few reasons, actually very important reasons, that go into why it is more expensive than just a regular white cotton.
Yes.
And I'm going to try to remember all of them, but if you can think of one.
The biggest
first one was the yield.
Yeah, way down.
So, like he was saying, compared to like an upland cotton, which is like your standard American cotton, the yield is about a quarter or sometimes less.
Yeah.
Like sometimes like an 8 or a 16th yield to what you'd normally get from upland cotton per acre. So let's just say you're farming 1 acre, and whatever you would get in upland cotton, take that and divide it by 4 at the most. And sometimes even much less. And also for fox fiber green, it's even less. Fox fiber green has like a horrible yield. So first of all, just to start, you're starting with way less raw material per acre, and it costs a certain amount to water.
Yeah, like
and
a quarter yield.
It's horrible.
Best case. That's that's pretty like.
So
oof.
Not only that, that's very expensive, but then he said, everything along the process becomes more expensive because it's not standard. So when they're ginning the cotton, first before they start, they have to clean the whole machine out, get all of the white cotton, all the other cotton out.
Yeah.
Put the fox fiber through, and then once that's finished, they've got to clean the whole machine again to get all of the fox fiber and other, any contaminants out, so that when somebody else comes along and gins their white cotton, it doesn't get contaminated with little brown
also,
bits.
Dear viewers, this is not a small machine. This is a very big machine, the size of a building.
And basically, so this process of having to like clean the machine and clean the machine afterwards goes all the way down the production line. So yeah, there's just this added cost on every part of the production. Not only the yield, but it was just like so interesting to kind of find out like these are part of the reasons why the cost is just higher.
Lower. Yeah, like even though it has a longer staple, the staple is still relatively shorter. So it's a relatively like a shorter fiber, so it's harder to work with. These are organic cotton, so there's going to be like a degree of like past contamination, so that also kind of slows stuff down. It gunks up the machines a little bit there. So there's all these extra complications that make like organic fox fiber a humongous expense, but it's clear they love it. Like we go there, like the guys are wearing fox fiber, so they love it. They love it for they love the game.
Okay, so to wrap up the Japan talk, I thought we could give people a few tips if they're going to Japan.
Yeah,
because now is the time to go visit Japan. There were a lot of tourists there.
So many.
so many. I've never seen so many people before and so many tourists. But I'm not saying don't go because there's lots of tourists, because right now is a great time. The yen is very cheap.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can go tour these factories. They're not open to the public. But there's definitely lots of fun to be had in Japan. Go down to Kojima. Go to Tokyo, go to Osaka.
Yeah, go to Kojima and the Denim Street. Check it out there. There's plenty of like pilgrimage points for like denim nerds there. Lots of really cool shops. Like, oh my god, we must have been like
we went to like every shop.
We did a lot of like shopping.
We were walking about so to get an idea of partially one of the reasons why we couldn't do the live stream, and just like the amount of stuff we were doing, Terry and I would typically wake up between 5 and 6 a.m.
Yes.
And then we wouldn't be home in bed till usually around
midnight.
10 at the earliest and like midnight at the latest.
Yeah.
And that's every single day after we just took a 13-hour flight. So we're like jet lagged.
Yeah.
And you're just like running on like
lager and sushi.
Yeah,
lager and sushi.
And onigiris.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very fun, very entertaining and interesting, but also like
it was taxing and
exhausting.
demanding. Yeah, taxing and demanding. But like it really was quite enlightening. I've never done anything quite like it at all in my life. So it was a really cool experience. So yes, we took a lot of video. We're gonna be a big fancy video for that, and then definitely keep on asking questions about this. We'll do our best to answer. Yeah. I mean, this whole live stream could just be us like babbling about like our little trip overseas.
Well, don't forget to subscribe because I'm gonna be posting the video. I'm gonna start editing it probably in the next couple days here, maybe tomorrow, and I'll get a nice big long video because I know you guys love long form content just like I do. Yeah. And you can put it on while you're cooking or having dinner, whatever. And enjoy that whole trip. I tried to video as much as possible. I lugged this like heavy cinema camera all over the countryside, 11 hours a day. More than 11, it was like 16 hours a day.
It was a big camera, and we held it for a long time.
I kind of regret it, but hey, I hope it was worth it for you guys because it was...
Last tip there from Let's Enjoy Fashion with Nabi. I've definitely seen you guys around on Instagram. So he also points out a long holiday is coming. Yes, you don't want to be in Japan for Golden Week. You kind of want to avoid it.
A lot of things will be closed too. That's a problem.
Yeah, I kind of think you should maybe head for the fall or even the winter, because the winters are pretty mild and it's a comfortable place to be. You got like little hot coffees everywhere. You can warm yourself up to be less tourist. The prices will be great, and you can have more hot ramen and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So you'll still have a lot of fun there. So maybe that could be a cool little vacation.
Personally,
tip.
I like November. October, November.
Yeah,
you might still get a typhoon, but
typhoons are lots of fun as long as you're not at the airport.
Yes.
Okay, so
let's scroll up. We got a few.
Let's scroll.
Questions.
Get back into the audience there. Give a voice to the people.
Did we get any updates on the MIJ 14 or 15 while in Japan? No.
No,
those are those are in the pipeline.
Yeah.
So there's no real updates other than they just have to get here.
We did plan some future MIJs, which
but
you can't talk
more
about.
MIJs.
Yeah, more
coming.
MIJs are coming.
Super exciting.
Oh my god.
Yes, I'm not gonna say anymore.
Yeah, we can't say anymore.
Can't say anymore. But the MIJs that we have lined up,
better and better and better.
I'm not saying don't get the 14 or the 15 because they're really nice.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be great, but don't worry. We got. It's still coming.
It's still coming.
We're only bangers.
Only bangers. Yeah.
Okay. Any updates on the Huntsman? No updates on the Huntsman. I tried to get an update on the Huntsman.
Yeah.
And no one emailed me back. So send us an email, info@tatenyoko.com, and I'll try to get another update on that. But so for now, no update. What are y'all drinking? I'm drinking A&W root beer.
The same.
I'm trying not to drink caffeine.
Yeah, you wouldn't you've cut yourself off.
It makes a big difference for me. Not that I want to have this be a health podcast or whatever, but for me, if I stop drinking caffeine, I just feel so much more awake all the time. I can fall asleep easier. I can wake up easier. I don't feel tired in the afternoon. I don't know. There's just something about it where it's like I've unlocked a hidden, life hack. It's like don't drink caffeine and you feel awake all the time. So anyways, try it out.
All right.
Scrolling down here. What is it like to work at the mills? Loud. But it looks very cool.
Yeah, it's loud. And these are nice Japanese companies. So all the guys were wearing proper uniforms. They actually
hats, uniforms.
Really cool.
Very nice uniforms. I kind of wanted one. I was like, what do I get one of those?
Yeah, they had pockets and gussets and zippers.
Yeah, little
and
places
stuff.
to put pens and
logos
things.
And stuff like that. And it felt really proper.
Mm-hmm.
It had the I took some pictures of all their tools were kind of organized, with outlines and stuff there. Everything was where it's supposed to be. It was a vintage place. You could tell these are old buildings and they've been around a long time, but they've been well looked after.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of nice to this was old but well looked after.
As clean as they could possibly be. The thing is, there's a lot of little cotton fibers floating around in the air, so some things get dusty.
Yes, especially at the cotton spinning mill. I asked this question there, hey, cotton, this is pretty flammable. You're absolutely right. This place is ready to blow. So they take fire safety very seriously. Mm-hmm. They do drills. You told me to drill every month. Against one wall there'd be 10 fire extinguishers and buckets and blankets and stuff. So yeah, that was kind of cool. But this is a proper factory. It's it was safe. There's a lot of rules about safety, and and also one thing that again they kind of talk about what it's like to be at these mills that people don't talk a lot about. the owners of the mills were very proud of their wastewater treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing, this is like the least sexy part. Like this is like the most boring part about maybe like a denim mill factory. But like, what do you do with all that water? Because like industrial processes and water kind of go together hand in hand. And treating your water and treating your wastewater is such a big deal. And it's also kind of like a really sensitive and a big deal for Japan. But the owner of the mill, he's extremely proud about it. Like their their effluent water was like very well looked after. So that's kind of a cool thing that I noticed while I was there.
Any update on the Godzilla fire jeans? We showed it off last episode.
I mean, you can wave the swatch. We got it right here.
I'll wave it.
We can wave the swatch.
But if we went over it last episode, so if you
Yeah.
haven't watched the last one, go back and you can find it there. We talked about it for like a good 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, for the best Godzilla updates, you definitely want to talk to the Brandon when he comes in here, because he's got like basically all the Godzilla updates kind of go through him and then filter out for him into us.
Yes.
To you.
21 ounce in the cards for next season. I think, yeah, there's going to be another elephant, that's for sure. But we did talk about some heavyweights on the trip. There was a lot of heavyweight talk, actually. Who knows? Maybe a 32 ounce is coming? Who knows? All right. Next. No shame in hitting the women's section. Exactly. Basically,
zero.
all the jeans are unisex. That's kind of really the reality.
Yes.
There's no. It's not like the buttons are on the other side or anything. They're all the same.
There's no like chromosome detectors.
Chromosome detector. You can't put it on.
Somebody noticed your hat.
Yes. New hat alert. We did a lot of shopping. That's all I'm gonna say. Heavyweight denim in the core collection. Yes, there's gonna be some more. Any Asiagi Sashiko work shirt update? No update. The update is it's coming. We're trying. It's coming as fast as it possibly can, but they'll be here when they're here. Have you coped with post Japan clarity? I mean, I've experienced it many times. So
Same for me. I think the biggest thing is if someone goes there and spends 2 weeks there and then go back and like everything.
your first time.
Yeah, your first time, and you come back and like you just wake up in the morning like, oh, I'll just go off to the convenience store, get myself a little something like a rice ball and a coffee. You can't.
Yes.
And that really pits people like, oh no, like let me just get onto the super clean, super functional train. Like we don't have them. It's like, oh.
Yeah, it's like some guy smoking on the platform and like
let me go to the coffee house for like relaxing coffee. Like it's noisy and the coffee tastes bad or something. You're like, ah.
Tim Hortons.
yeah.
McDonald's.
Yeah. So I mean, like,
Yeah.
we've done enough times, so we're not like the reverse culture shock is not so bad. Like I always felt reverse culture shock stronger than culture shock. I think that's another way to put it. Post Japan clarity vs reverse culture shock.
The thing
reverse
is,
culture shock is real.
it is real. It's
It is
so
absolutely real.
Especially if you've lived overseas for like a few years and
Yeah.
you really get used to it, and then you come back and you're like, oh my god, what is this?
Yeah.
But I was looking forward to it because I remember like the day before I went, I was outside walking. There's just garbage everywhere, all over the street. I don't know why, but in Montreal, I have this serious problem with litter, and I was just thinking to myself like, I'm so excited to walk around on some clean streets.
They were so clean.
And they were so clean. Well, actually, not all. There was a few that were kind of dirty, but
I
that's
mean,
like a very rare exception.
Their
in,
bad streets were like our best streets.
It's true. And yeah, people were very civilized. It's just such a nice place to be.
As long as you don't want, as long as you don't need personal space on the metro.
Yeah, that is one thing that I think I would not like if I lived there forever.
Bumper
It's
to bumper.
literally,
Yeah. It is.
nut to butt, as Terry
yeah.
likes to say.
Yeah, we can say that on YouTube, right?
Yeah, we could say that.
Oh yeah, definitely nut to butt.
So okay. Concept: long dip selvage. Some have figured out how to do slow dipping. I don't think this is a good idea because what will happen is the dye will penetrate to the core, so you won't get them to fade as much. And like they said, there's only one speed.
Yeah, there's only one.
There's only one
I think
speed.
the idea, what you can play with here, I think this that we give like that's kind of like a runny paint situation. If you're painting a wall, you put put all your paint on it 1st. It's just going to kind of mess everything up there. So if you want more,
You just do more dips.
indigo, you can just do more dips, and they do that. They play with the dips.
Yeah, and it's also not necessarily, I think, the length of the dip. It's more the fact that it comes up and it oxidizes, and then goes back down and then oxidizes. Because once it's under the water, it's not doing anything under the water. It's not until it comes out of the bath that it actually has that reaction with the oxygen and does something. Okay.
Strong guy linens. Cool.
Okay. Tips for unshrinking my denim.
Oh no. No.
So the only way if they're too short is you could try to tug on them, try to stretch them back out. And if that doesn't work, you can try to get them damp and then try to stretch them back out. That might be a little bit more. But unfortunately, there's not a whole lot you can do to unshrink your jeans other than trying to like tug them a little bit longer. Or
it's easier to shrink the wearer than it is to unshrink the jeans.
I think he's more concerned about the length. You can't shrink your height very easily. Or if you're really desperate, undo the hem and you'll get about 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches.
Yeah, you can undo the hem, or you can do like the fly button extender.
That's not going to make them longer.
No,
I mean lengthwise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we did a fade review just the other day of a very creatively like enlarged jean.
Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. The jean was very creatively modified. What's next here? Did we negotiate a 50-ounce denim production? Who knows? We talked about it.
We talked about it, and then the point was raised, and we got mostly laughs.
It was raised multiple times,
and then we got multiple laughs, and then maybe a slightly fearful laugh, wait, is he serious? Is he serious?
Did y'all ever release the Fox Fiber zip jacket? I don't think so. Did we?
I have an empty box up there. Did it come and go? It may have come and gone. I don't know.
It might have sold out.
I think it did release, and it evaporated, I feel.
Send us an email. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of because things come from the factory late. So I can't really remember, to be honest. When will the last products that Bezat and Riza helped design get released? This fall, next spring? I think
we've already passed that.
We've already passed that.
Yeah.
I think it was this spring. I mean, Bezat had a lot to do with the Godzilla. So I guess technically that would maybe be the last one.
Yeah, no, he wasn't definitely involved in that one. So maybe fall 2025.
Yes. 28 ounce. Yeah, 28 ounce would be pretty cool. Who knows? Maybe something similar is coming. Let's see. I want to move to Japan.
Brown core jean. Yeah.
So don't we all?
Yeah.
There's pluses and there's minuses.
Visiting is one thing.
Yes.
Living is another thing.
Yes.
Yeah. They are very, very, very different.
Yeah. I could see it's like the honeymoon period. Everyone you go on a holiday, you don't have to go to work. You know, you're a little bit more spendy with, your money. You're enjoying yourself. You're going to all the fun stuff. You're not riding the train rush hour every morning to your grind and then being, nut to butt all the time. And then you try to go somewhere like your favorite restaurant. There's a super long line.
Yeah.
If you've lived in a big Asian city with a lot of people, it does wear you down. I will say, at least for me, it gets a little old.
I felt more crowded in Japan than I felt in Taipei.
There's just way more people.
Yeah, and Taipei's not a small city, nor is it not that it's extremely densely populated.
Next, MIJ ETA, no ETA right now, but summertime. I'd say late spring.
I heard we got some on the boat or something like that.
It's on the way.
On the boat, okay.
But it's one of those things where it gets here when it gets here. We don't have an exact date. Asking, what is the hat? It's top secret. Shh.
Yeah, top secret. But it was unsanitized, and you may have shrunk it in the hotel sink and then dried it on the hotel AC overnight.
I did, and it worked. It worked great. Yeah. Yeah, it was magical. My plan worked perfectly.
Yeah, it worked perfectly. Oh, final question from BD over here, just because he slipped in great time. Any info we can share about future special labor love items? No, just know that they're happening, but we can't talk about it.
I'm trying to think if there's any other ones.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, there's one. There's
just
one
can't
coming.
talk about it.
We haven't announced it yet, but I think I already teased it. If you were listening carefully.
Yeah, there's been some really subtle clues.
Yes.
Throughout the whole like Naked Famous Tate.
We're always dropping hints.
Denimosphere.
There's always Easter eggs.
Yeah, there's Denimosphere. Go back and like watch every single video a year from now. It might make some sense.
Okay. So Terry, I wanted to ask you, how's the warehouse upstairs?
Okay, so cool. It's a little warehouse, a non this week at Tate and Yoko warehouse update. It's a little, we just had the Easter sale, so things are a little busy. So we got a little bit backed up, especially on hems. There's a big pile. It's about something like, there's a giant pile of hems all getting processed right now. We've got extra people put on it, so they're all kind of going out the door. But, if you're waiting for your Easter sale order, usual story here. It's just going to take a little bit longer than normal just because due to the scale of it. The team is the same, but the orders are bigger, so it just takes a little bit of time to get out the door.
Speaking of which, the sale, if you weren't paying attention or you're just tuning in now, the sale is ending tomorrow. So get your orders in.
There's still time.
Tonight is the night if you want to enjoy any of the sale. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Sometime after the sale, and so probably next week or the week after that, we will be putting all the fall winter 24 on sale too. So I thought we could just take a quick peek at that. So Naked Famous Denim fall winter 24. So everything from fall winter 24 is going to be moved to the first markdown, which is 20% off. So we still got lots of good stuff in here. Some of the things are sold out, but if we scroll down here, look, we still got a few of the Michael Myers. If you're a 28, man, the world's your oyster. We still got some Fox fibers, lots of the 10 folds, Real Gold's prototypes. Those are actually on sale, 20% off right now. Blue Wave. Yeah, lots of good stuff. Forever Blue. It was funny, I was telling Terry today, we just released the Forever Black, and people are leaving comments being like, when's the Forever Blue coming out? Like, more than one person left that comment, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no, it's already out.
It already happened.
But yeah, Forever Blue,
there.
we got like almost all the sizes in Weird Guy, Deep Sea, lots of sizes. Blue Comfort, very comfortable and stretchy, but still real denim feel. So anyways, Fall Winter 24 is going to be for sale, or it's already for sale, but it's going to be marked down to the first markdown, 20% off sometime soon. So definitely check that out. I just want to give you guys that tip because we give you guys the inside track here for tuning in and hanging out with us. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, so I was looking at this is kind of related to our sale tangentially, but we missed a chance to call it this. I'm trying to keep like a straight face because I find this so ridiculous. I had an email from Home Depot inviting me to check out the Spring Black Friday sale.
Oh no! Oh no!
Spring Black Friday.
They're trying so hard.
I was filled with dread. I was filled with dread. Like, is this going to become a thing now?
No, it's not going to become a thing. There's only room for one Black Friday and one Black Friday only.
It's live. It's live right now. You go to Home Depot. You get yourself like a weed whacker.
I feel like that adds new meaning to Black Friday, right? Because it's Easter. Good Friday.
We get Good Friday. It's an interesting choice. Anyway,
yeah, weird.
We will not call our Spring Easter sale Spring Black Friday.
It is clearly just.
I refuse.
Easter
I
sale.
refuse. Despite the fact that I have both like a leaf blower and a tool chest on my Home Depot shopping list, and they're on sale.
Yes. Yes. Okay, and then we picked up a couple things in Japan since we're still on the topic. I want to show this off. I think, Terry, should we save this one for next week when Brandon's here? I think Brandon really wants to open this.
Yeah, I think he wants to see it.
But I'm going to tease it for you guys so you guys know what to tune in for next week. So next week...
Give him the preview.
We have this.
Oh.
It's a blind box Wesco Boss collection. Hold on, let me get the real deal.
This was like engineered for people like that.
It's funny because I remember seeing this on Instagram and I bookmarked it and I went to their website, Wesco Japan, and I found a list of all the places in Japanese, and I translated them so I could find out where to get these. And then I completely forgot about it. And then we went to Hands, formerly Tokyo Hands, which is kind of like a department store.
They got rid of the Tokyo name?
Yeah, now it's just called Hands.
Oh, that's just going to confuse me now.
Anyway, so we went to Hands, which is a shop. They sell like a lot of stationery.
Variety goods.
Everything. A lot of stuff. They have
everything.
As Brandon likes to say, like the most scissors of any store ever.
He was really, they really did have a lot of scissors.
And for some reason, they were carrying this there. And Steve, who is the manager at the New York store, was with us.
What a legend.
He spotted it and he's like, "Yo, Garrett, check this out." And I saw it, and then Brandon's like, "I'll buy it for you. Let's open it on the live stream." And so we got it, and basically open it up, and it's a pair of Wesco Boss. How did they fit that in there?
Yeah, how did they fit there?
Anyways, so
I got toy boots for my real boots.
Yes, I got toy boots for my real boots. So we're gonna keep these. We'll keep this box for next one. I think if we open it without Brandon, he's gonna be sad.
Yeah, you know what you have to do? You gotta go to the boot show and then put your mini boots in front of your big boots. Just like people go to car shows and they got like the toy car. You have a toy car in their dash.
That's weird.
Yeah, I got toy car for my real car. And now you can have like toy boots for my real boots.
All right. Well, hopefully the one that we get is the one that I have. I actually do see. I have this exact.
He's got the one he wants.
I have this exact model. Anyways.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, so this is going to be for next time. And then also, I'll let you share this one, Terry.
Yeah, I also picked up a good, I'm not too sure, maybe we'll do
Where'd you get that?
So, where did I get, oh god, we went to Donkey.
Like
AKA,
4 times.
You know, like maybe like 3 times too many. But
yes.
We went to Don Quixote, which is like this it's beyond the dollar store.
It's, how would you describe it?
I don't know,
it's just like a everything store,
like a multi-floor, like
it's not a department store,
like multi-floor coked up Target in Japan.
Oh yes, that's a good description.
Yeah, you go in there, it's intense, especially like during like not all the tours, like it's wild.
They got a lot of stuff. Like they don't really have clothes, but they got like a lot of food.
They have food, snacks, knickknacks,
lots of
models,
snacks,
toys, NSFW. Accessories,
watches,
smokes,
luggage,
booze.
Lots of smokes, alcohol, everything fun almost.
Yeah, like pretty much
everything.
They have
video games there? I don't remember if they have video games.
They had some Tommy cars.
They have model cars there.
They did some model cars, model trains.
It's if you go to Japan and you need to
they...
get gifts to bring back home for people. That's where I'd recommend you
go on a Monday morning, though.
Monday morning, yeah,
it was a zoo.
Don't go there on a Saturday at like 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Not like the best store for any one thing, but it's a great store for everything.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So,
what did you find there?
So I went there and I got this. That's right. I got this Harambe edition curry. I couldn't resist. This is like one of my favorite styles of curry, actually. These are like basically boil in the bag, super lazy. Like it has like basis, like a foil pouch, and you can like boil it in water or like open it up and put it in the microwave. And it's instant curry. And this one's got a gorilla on it. And it basically actually says in Japanese there, it says go curry. Or like, as in like gorilla curry.
Wait, Gojira.
Yeah.
Or not Gojira.
Yeah, anyway, we got the Harambe Gorilla Curry over there. I think we'll do this on Twadi, or maybe here, who knows?
I think we should do it on here.
All right, well, maybe we'll
on this week at Tate Nyoko, it was kind of like logistically hard to do. All right,
well, we'll warm up some rice. I'll boil the bag, and we'll have the Harambe edition
at some point
on a day soon. Yes, that's right. Thank you very much, Pipman and Slipback. You know what is up.
The thing is, like on the whole trip, I mean, we ate a lot of tasty food, but I think if I had to pick my favorite meal, it was probably the small hole-in-the-wall curry place that we went to near Nakano Broadway.
Yeah. Oh my God! I was finding out it's like a franchise restaurant. Well, doesn't matter. It's got a gorilla on it.
Wait, they have a what?
They got the Harambe curry in the States.
What?
That's impossible.
No way. How do you even search it?
I'm searching.
Oh, it's a thing.
Yeah, wow, okay. There you go.
We're gonna try it. I'm excited.
Anyway, yeah, we'll definitely try that. Yeah, we'll do that here on the live stream, and we'll do a song and dance. I get the rice and everything there, but you can't get this here in Canada nor in the grocers. So I thought it was pretty cool. We'll definitely make a thing. I really, really, really like these lazy curries because I'm lazy and I love curry. And I'm also with Garrett there. I'm really, really thrilled that I think for Garrett and Steve, their favorite meal was like the mom and pop hole in the wall curry restaurant, because when I used to live in Japan, like that one memory that comes back to me in terms of tasty food, because I lived like basically in the sticks. Like I lived in the mountains, man. They're actual like wild boar, like I kid you not, wild boar, kind of like, roaming the parks around where I was. And there was this like mom and pop curry restaurant which had one thing on the menu, a plate of curry, and that was it. Maybe a Coke.
Does it come with a cutlet or different things?
I think you can get it with or without like the pork cutlet, but like it was like an extremely limited menu. Like that's all it is. And it had like some toys on the wall and stuff like that. But it was like, their recipe, and it was so good. And there's like such a special spot in my heart. So we were just there, in the kind of Broadway with Brandon, and we put in the Googler. We found this independent shop. We went right through. There were 5 of us, and they had 7 seats. So we kind of like filled the place out. But it was super delicious, and we had a great, great, great time. It made Steve's day. Like, he was so happy for it. You really liked it. I'm really happy that you guys liked it. I also really, really enjoyed it. So, yeah, family curry joints.
I feel like curry is one of those things in Japan where, like, some things are hit or miss. Like, sushi places, I find, even in Japan, can be hit or miss.
They got misses over there, that's for sure.
But the curry places, it's hard to go to a bad curry place. Like, even the bad curry is kind of good. It's kind of like pizza.
Even if you end up at Coco's or whatever, like, you're still gonna have a fine,
It's still okay.
You're still fine. No one's going home like, oh man, like that was the worst food ever.
Yeah. Like, it's hard to screw up, It's rice and curry sauce.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the gorilla curry, the Go-Go Gorilla Harambe edition. Rest in peace, our angel. So yeah, that'll be maybe the next. Do we get boil some rice, put in the
maybe
microwave?
Next time.
Yeah, I'll get some rice ready.
And you know who isn't a curry fan? Brandon.
Oh, he doesn't like curry, eh?
We went to the curry place. He didn't get curry. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
He just got a bowl of fried chicken.
He got fried chicken and rice.
No curry.
No curry.
Crazy.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Okay, so last thing, I feel like before we get into snack, I didn't even choose a snack time yet.
Whoops.
Let me go into where's my bag of.
Garrett's gonna go forage.
Oh, it's here. I found it. One thing I thought we could talk about. We talked about a little bit on this week at Tate and Yoko, but one thing that now Terry, I, Bezad, Riza, we all share is that we're now all on the G Squad. This is a little off topic, but whatever. I feel like people enjoy it.
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of like,
I finally broke the seal. Hold on. There
Look at him, people.
And I got the G-Shock. Terry has been rocking his for 10 years. I was a watch guy once upon a time, but I was all into the mechanical watches. And then I became not a watch guy because my job changed. I didn't really need to wear a watch anymore, so I stopped wearing watches, and I kind of fell out of that whole thing. And now going back to wearing a watch, I was kind of looking for something a little different. And Terry was into the G-Shocks, Bezad got into the G-Shocks, and then I started to kind of be like, interesting, okay. And so finally going over there, I bought one of the F84Ws, which is a JDM version, and Terry's got his. This is basically the new version.
Yes.
The same, but different.
Almost identical.
Almost identical, but not quite. It's got an updated module in there. And I just wanted to say that I'm like loving this, because if you're someone if you want jewelry, then I would say this is not the one for you. No. But if you want a really accurate time-telling device,
yes,
this is exactly it, because
accurate and reliable.
Terry, tell them how the accuracy works on this.
All right, so basically one of the party tricks of this is called multi-band. So basically it has a little radio receiver inside the watch, and then once a day at midnight it receives a radio signal from the nearest atomic clock, which keeps time.
What's an atomic clock?
Whoa, it's a clock.
Is it gonna blow up?
Yeah. Like many things in our world, it uses atoms. Yeah. An atomic clock, to put it simply, is an extremely accurate clock. And they have a couple of them scattered around the world, and some of them are hooked up to...
It uses decaying particles, right, to tell the time.
I am not privy to the exact...
I forget what
functioning of them, like
particle
the exact mechanisms. But the important thing to know is that they're extremely accurate, and some of them have radio transmitters on them that will broadcast a little, like a time signal, and then devices can pick this up, including little wristwatches. So I can pick up 5 different radios. Garrett's is one model newer. You can pick up 6 different radios. That would just mean that you don't have to set your time, because it receives the time from an atomic clock in an analog way. I don't think this is like a digital...
No, through a radio wave.
Yeah, radio waves. So it's not just like hooking up to your Bluetooth or your phone or whatever there is. So it's extremely accurate.
Well, the nearest tower to us is in Utah.
Yeah, Utah.
Or no, isn't it? No,
Colorado.
Colorado.
So Colorado is not close to Montreal at all.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit.
Very far.
Not even a little bit.
So anyways, yeah, they beam this signal to our house every single night, and then the
Yeah.
watch syncs with the time.
Yeah.
And then because it's a quartz watch, it's also, very accurate. So you're going to be like to the second
Pretty much.
every single day. And
Yeah.
I guess I don't need to be that to the second in my life, but it's nice to know. And one thing, just one small anecdote, is when we were in Japan and we were riding on the Shinkansen, it was the first day I had the watch, and we got on the train, and I looked at the watch, and just as it said we were about to depart, the train started rolling forward. Like literally, like on the second, I was like, "Whoa!" Like
the joke is, in Japan you can set your watch to the trains,
It's
but like
true.
it's not like hyperbole. Like you can literally like, okay, the train leaves at like 8:42, and
yeah, like on
the
8:42, like you could literally feel the
alert.
wheels start moving.
and go.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's my pick of the month. No, my pick of the week.
Yes.
The G-Shock Squared. This is the
GWM 5610.
U. Mine's the U. Yours is, I think, without U.
Mine's
or
the
something.
GWM 5600.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
So anyways, Bayzat has a similar... He might have this one exactly too, but then he's also got the similar vintage repro style
he's got
one,
some
too.
really cool G-Shocks. He showed off his collection to us.
got
My
some-
favorite is the carbonium one.
I like the Mr. G.
The Mr. G.
I like the Mr. G that we went on the adventure to buy.
Oh yeah, that was a cool
We
adventure.
we got a smoking deal on that Mr. G.
We get some deal. It's kind of fun walking around Tokyo with Bayzat and Risa.
Yeah, Bayzat and Risa are super fun to hang out with in Tokyo.
Yeah, they know the spots.
They know all the ways around. They know all the cool shops.
They don't push too hard. They still want, they're still there to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we went to the arcades to play some games. Again, on the video.
You'll see in the video.
You'll see it all. You'll see it all.
It was a good time. So today's
Snack time.
is this fettuccine?
That's what it says on the bag.
Fettuccine Alfredo. No, I think it's fettuccine cola flavor. I'm assuming it looks like cola. I can't read this. Terry, maybe you can read a little better.
Let's take a look at here.
What's
Fettuccine cola. Yeah, that literally says cola flavor on the top there. So cola flavor. Yeah, and it looks like a very frosty, and on the package there you see a very appetizing depiction of what one might assume is a cola drink, a soda pop. There we go. So,
all right, let's crack it open.
Let's just dig into this. You picked this up. Where did we grab this? Donkey?
I don't know. I didn't pick this up.
It's got a sticker on the back from somewhere.
We paid for it.
Yeah, it's not expired, but it's also not fresh.
Ooh, strong cola flavor, but a little more sour and sweet than a regular.
Hints of cinnamon.
Yes. It doesn't smell like a Coke or a Pepsi.
It does not look
but it has a cola-y smell.
And I tell you what, though, it does not look like fettuccine.
Yeah, let's get a close-up on here. I mean, it's kind of similar shape. I don't know what else this would be shaped like a flattened-out worm.
Yeah, this is a gummy.
Okay, cheers.
Gummy, there you go.
It's quite stretchy. Get a good stretch on it. Very chewy. It's almost like gum. It's got a real elasticy to it. The powdered sugar on the front is, or whatever this powder is, not that sour, not that sweet, but it's definitely leaning towards sour, but it's not intense.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about this one. It's not super soda-y. And the texture, yeah.
The soda flavor
Fizzy?
is there, but not super intense. I think if you're someone who likes gummies, you'd probably like these a lot.
I would try other fettuccine flavors.
Yeah. If I was to, would I buy these again? Maybe
nice.
not.
The texture's nice.
Texture is nice. It's got a nice chewy texture to it. A little bit al dente.
It is a little bit, definitely al dente. The teeth were used on this one.
Yeah, I'm using my teeth. I'm gonna save those for later. You want one more?
No, I'm good. Yeah, I'll take a pass on the fettuccinis.
We'll have to save those for the boys tomorrow.
Yeah, they can have all the fettuccine.
Little early morning snack.
They're gonna eat it for sure.
Yes.
There's no question about it.
So how would you rate the fettuccine cola gummies?
On 10, I'm gonna give that a 6. It does what it says on the
6?
box. The texture is nice, but the flavor is just not for me. Also, I'm really little trivia over here. I'm extremely sensitive to sour flavors. Like sour candies will like put me in the ground. I'm very, very delicate to that. Just ask my wife; she knows very, very well. Like Sour Patch Kids, whatever. They're like, I'm just sitting there, I'm dying, I'm squirming my face.
Really, I love sour candies.
Rhubarb pie.
Ooh, so good.
God, it kills me.
You know what I want to have?
Kills me.
There's a special rhubarb where they grow it in the darkness. Have you ever heard of that?
Dark barb?
What's it called?
Rhubarb au noir? Is this like the white asparagus?
Rhubarb.
Yeah, rhubarb grown in the dark. Is this a thing?
I think it's called forced rhubarb.
Forcing rhubarb.
Yeah, they grow the rhubarb in
Weird.
complete darkness, and I think it makes it makes it taste sweeter. Yeah, it restricts the photosynthesis, yielding in a sweeter, more tender. Basically, it's like super premium rhubarb because they have to grow it outside and they have to bring it inside to a warehouse and then grow it, and it's like quite fancy. They do it in Europe.
I wonder how they do it.
For sure.
I used to think that you needed sunlight for plants.
Or maybe they roll the tent over the rhubarb after. I don't know. Anyways, I've never had forced rhubarb before, but I want to try it out. If you don't know what it is, look it up. Forced rhubarb.
Okay.
That's your top tip of the day. Anyways.
Yeah, weird.
That brings us to the end of today's show. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, if you haven't already, please hit the like button. And I'm sure you're subscribed, but if you're not, just in case, if it's your first time tuning in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It's free, costs you nothing, and I really appreciate it. Terry really appreciate it. We wanna bring you more good videos, especially that Japan vlog video, which I know you guys are going to.
Yeah, you
love.
got like a week of like schizophrenic clips to sort through. So good luck.
I got a lot of clips, like probably 1,000 clips.
Good luck.
I'm pretty fast at editing though, so it shouldn't take long.
Okay.
Anyways, thanks guys for tuning in. We'll see you again next week right here at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, have a great week, have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye-bye.